Hi, everybody. Eva here with another episode of the Leaders Break Free live show. Today, I want to talk about resistance. It's such a big deal because we spend our life pushing through resistance, which gets tiring, you burn out, and then you're told, oh, you should run your business more in flow, less pushy, less masculine energy. Then you start making yourself wrong about it. But the thing is, like, how do we actually get in a flow? How do we actually push less and get more accomplished? And the answer is knowing how to dissolve your resistance. So, the first thing I want you to write down, start, and underline is that resistance is an emotion. Every time you say, I should do this or I need to do this, you're in resistance. I'll say this again because this is so important. Every time you say, I need to do something, you are automatically in resistance, right? And resistance is the killer in your business. And until you start learning how to dissolve it and transmute it, you're going to be at standstill in your business, right? So, we're going to talk about how to transmute resistance in this episode. By the way, transmuting resistance is not going to turn you into a pushover, right? I was going to record an episode on how to lead through what's going on politically and so forth. You guys kind of know where I stand on the issues of mandates and whatever. And, this fears comes up a lot of people. If I transmute this resistance, am I going to be a pushover? Am I going to be able to stand? Should I just let go of like being a stand in the world? No, you can still make a difference in the world, but it's not going to be with all the stuffed up feelings we have about it, right? So, let's look at the resistance in our lives. I want you to pause. If you're driving, obviously don't do that, but let's look at the resistance in our lives. Have you recently launched something and then lost steam halfway through your efforts, halfway through the year? It's 3/4 into the year, right? It's time to assess, what were my goals for the second half of the year? Where did I lose steam? That's because resistance and shoulds came in. When did you have plans to go to do yoga, to do breath work? And maybe you decided last minute to not go, right? It just was like, ugh, don't want to drag myself there. That's resistance. Again, you can dissolve that, right? Or, for example, maybe you had plans to do a retreat and do a bunch of lead generation, bring 300 people into your retreat and close 50K in sales. And then something happened, right? You hit resistance. Every time it said do lead gen or do sales on your calendar, you came to your computer and you just could not bring yourself to do it. There was resistance, right? And you did not know how to transmute it. Or there is those things that are really good for you in your life, right? Like doing gratitude, exercising. Why aren't we doing them? Why do we lose steam? That's because the shoulds come in, right? We start doing our morning routine. Things are going really well. We start getting the results and we're like, wow, this breath work is the best thing ever. And you're getting the results and weeks down the road, you're not doing it. What happened? Right? So again, if you feel like you have to or you should, you're in resistance. Okay. So let's talk about dissolving resistance. I have been talking about this probably for the past 6 months really, really heavily. The different methods for dissolving it, right? I've just did the 10 workshops. We went through it in the January retreat, January 10th retreat. Again, if you're not registered, please get yourself signed up. The link is below. But there is different methods that we teach in the program. Today, for example, I'm walking my clients through what's called the Sedona Method, which is one of the ways you can dissolve it. Another one is the Letting Go by Dr. Hawkins. Another one is simply going into the center of the emotion. Another one is breath work. Plant medicine goes into the subconscious resistance and subconscious feelings that need to be surrendered, right? So conscious and subconscious releasing is the key to joy, to happiness, to higher feeling states, higher frequencies, and all that, right? Now we have to add a caveat to this, that you have to let go of needing to change that state in order to release it. And that can be very difficult, right? Because resistance is also wanting to change what is, right? So when you're resisting your own feelings, you can't change them, right? So the Sedona Method is one of those things. I really recommend the book. You guys can find it at Audible. It's called The Sedona Method by Dale Hawkins Waskin. Dale Waskin, that's his name. It's really great. It's a course, and just start going through the exercises. But basically, the methodology is with allowing yourself to welcome the resistance that you're feeling, right? Allowing yourself to fully bring it and asking yourself, could I allow the resistance to be as big as it is, right? And then could I release it? And usually like some objection will come from the mind, whoa, and it will become stronger, which is good, right? But like, could I release it? No, but if you release it, it's going to be bad. The mind has things to say about it. But basically that's the nutshell of it. But you have to be willing to actually do the work and do the releasing. And for most people, they find it sufficient to actually just allow themselves to feel it and go into the core of the emotion. And as you do, it's like a bubble. It sort of pops. And what happens if you're doing it right is that you're going to feel a sense of relief. The sense of relief will feel similar to this scenario. Remember the last time you lost your phone or your wallet and your keys, and you're looking and you're stressed out, and then suddenly you find it. That feeling, the sigh of relief, the oh my gosh, thank God. Like that is similar to what I feel when I release. Okay. So, letting go of resistance is actually not going to work unless you actually do it, right? So you have to start practicing. And, it's one of the things, shameless plug, we do in the program every single Monday, and I teach people how to do it, but they also do it during the week, right? Once a week. I release all the time, like multiple times during the day now. Whenever I notice resistance, it is so crucial as you're growing your business to notice where resistance is coming in, because you're not going to be able to grow it unless you're continuously dissolving the barriers that are in your way, right? And the minute I forget, I get stuck or business goes even down. All right. So, there is other things we're resisting, right? What are the other things? You look at your life and ask yourself, what are the things that I tell myself I should do and I'm not doing? Sometimes it's the things that we have to do repeatedly, right? Doing Legion, brushing your teeth, washing the dishes or whatever you have. Sometimes we resist the things that people tell us that we should be doing, right? I'm telling you, you should release resistance, and immediately, for some of you, there might be a resistance, right? Notice that with your clients. You ask them to do something, they're not gonna, because internally it turns into a should, right? Sometimes we're resisting the people around us. Maybe you're resistant to your husband and how he chews, right? Could you just embrace it? Could you allow yourself to feel the resistance? Sometimes we resist. Just because we resist people does not mean that we don't love them. I have had to release a lot of resistance around Lexi, my 21-month-old, and I love her so much, so much. But I resist being around her because the mind wants to do its own thing. I love working. When I'm in creation mode, I just want to stay in creation mode. And Lexi comes by and wants something, I resist, right? So for those of us who are very driven, that is a point of contention within, where we are so, we really love to be on track for something, and then something else comes. It's like, hey, I need your attention. It's like, oh my God, it's this internal tension. And then, instead of releasing it in the moment and being able to be in the moment for whatever life is requiring of us, we go into a battle. right? So practice releasing the resistance to interruptions, right? We resist feelings too. We don't want to feel our feelings, right? For example, you feel sad, but you're frustrated about your sadness. You feel attached, but you're resisting your attachment, right? To outcome of a sale or whatever. The first thing you have to go is let go of is the resistance to that emotion. And last thing that I discovered personally, and it's probably not going to resonate until you have been through the exercises, I found that I resisted being happy. A lot of us resist being happy. Why aren't you right now vacationing on the beach? Why didn't you take the weekend off and really enjoy what you love doing? Right? Because we resist happiness. Happiness is not our safety. For some of us, our safety is in productivity. That's right. Our safety, have such strong programming of safety, is that it's stronger than our desire for happiness. Therefore, we can't be happy because that's not productive, right? So, if you want to stay in the flow, instead of this pushing, exhausting a way of life, I strongly encourage you, make this a goal for not the next week and not the next 2 days, but the next 12 months, to release everything that doesn't belong. Now, I will tell you, it's like a stack of plates, okay? It's like or in a vending machine, imagine you pull one thing and the next thing pops. So as you start releasing, you're going to get stacks, right? You create one thing and you'll feel the relief, and the next thing shows up, and then release it. So people are like, I'll let go now. What? I'm like, keep doing it. And then you will start noticing, wow, I really feel better. I'm clear. I have much more intuition. I'm much more connected. I'm much more passionate, right? And it's quite honestly what I have been doing since February, right? Since I moved to Costa Rica. It started with plant medicine. It continues with plant medicine, but plant medicine is for the deep stuff that we cannot get to on conscious level. The other letting go methods that I teach / translate, because I cannot come up with that. Sometimes I'll alter it and make it my own. I adjust it to what works for me. That's more of the conscious stuff that we can spot just through a meditative state and doing the releasing process. Okay, but what has led me to is much happier life, much more connected. I can teach and teach and teach all day and have endless supply of ideas, inspiration, things to say that are going to make a difference for people. It's endless, it's boundless, it's abundance of ideas, right? Needless to say, abundance in life, because when you let go of resisting wanting something, wanting something, you can actually start getting it, right? So there's a lot of benefits, endless benefits to doing this work. I really encourage you to take this on. And anybody who's not registered yet for the January 10th retreat, you want to put it on your calendar right away. It's 8 p.m. Eastern on January 10th through 15th, unless something blows up in my life. But I'm really, really excited to spend that time with you and release some of the things, help you get to center and create the plan for the next year together. So super, super excited about this. And for anybody who doesn't want to wait till January 10th, and you're you're ready to get started in your business now, I'm going to put a consult link below so you can connect with my team as well.